Okay, great. So now we're going to continue talking about solving formulas. So when we say solving a formula, what does that mean? Let's write it down. Okay, so when we're solving formulas, we're simply rewriting a formula. We're writing the formula so that a specific variable is isolated. Or you can also say that we are changing the subject of the formula. Oh, we're going to say of a given formula. Okay? And so we can do that. Let's do some examples with that. Great. Okay. And so let's say, for example, and we use the same steps as we did the earlier one. We want to identify the variable you're solving for. So typically that is given. Remove any terms added or subtracted from that variable. Remove any coefficients by multiplying or dividing. Check that the variable is isolated. Okay? So let's go for an example. Let's say we start off with y equals 6x plus 8. Okay? But the instruction is, solve for x, right? So that means you want to rewrite this given formula so that x is the subject, so that x is on one side of the equal sign by itself, okay? So now we see currently is 6x plus 8. So we want to remove this 8. So you can do the first way that we did, where you do the one side of the equal sign, do the other side of the equal sign, or you can do the second way we did it, which is when you move one term from one side of the equal sign to the other, you apply the opposite operation. Okay? So I'll do it both ways. Whichever way you want to do it is fine once it's mathematically correct. So the first way, we'd have y plus 8 equals 6x. Sorry, that should be minus. Y minus 8 equals 6x plus 8 minus 8. Okay? So these two cancel out, and so we end up with y minus 8 is equal to 6x. But we still have this 6 here. We want to remove that. And of course, how do we do that? We divide both sides by 6. Okay? And so, of course, these two cancel out. And so we end up with y minus 8 over 6 is equal to x. And now, because x is our subject, we're done. Okay? Or, of course, if we have y equals 6x plus 8 the second way, which is just move it to the other side of the equal sign and change the operation, we would have y minus 8 equal to 6x. Okay. Then we would have y minus 8 over 6 is equal to x. Why? Because we had to move this 8 to the other side of the equal sign. So your positive changed to negative, or your addition changed to subtraction. Now we want to remove the 6. Currently, the 6 is multiplying, right? Because remember, when two terms are right next to one another, they're multiplying. So this is saying 6 times x, and so the opposite of multiplication is division. So we divide both sides by 6, or we move the 6 over, and this multiplication now becomes a division. Okay, so it's your choice which way you do it. I show you the long way because sometimes when you have very long or large formulas, it's easier to do it that way. Okay, so whichever way you choose to, just make sure that once you If you choose to do it where you move it to the other side of the equal sign, that you do the opposite operation. Okay? So division, multiplication, addition, subtraction, so forth. That's our first example. Let's do a second example. Okay, and so let's see what I can find. Some more. Okay. So again, let's try pausing this one. So A is equal to x plus 12. And again, the instruction is solve for x. So what are you going to do first? Pause there and attempt to do the question. So now we have A minus 12, because right now it's addition, it's adding, is equal to x. And just like that, we are finished with that one. Now let's say we have another question, another example, and that is 4y. Oh, my mistake. 4y is equal to k. And let's say this time the instruction is to solve for y. Okay, so now we have 4 times y is equal to k. So what do? We can either move the y and divide it, or we can, what we do to one side of the equal sign, we do to another side of the equal sign. Again, it's your decision. I would rather write it out the long way. Sorry, it's supposed to be a 4. Let's just write that over. Okay, great. I would just like to write it out this way. To me, it's easier to see. You do whatever is easier for you to see. And so y is equal to k over 4. Again, very simple. It's your preference how you write it. Just make sure that however you choose to solve it, it makes mathematical sense. Okay, let's do one more. And so let's say now we have, let's say we have z. Z is equal to 10m plus 4. And the instruction, of course, is solve for m. Okay? So again, addition, you move to the next side, it's going to become subtraction. So z minus 10, sorry, minus 4. Let's start it again. Am I getting nervous or something? What's happening? So z minus 4 is equal to 10. We still have this 10 here. So we're going to divide both sides by 10 to remove from the side, or to isolate the m by itself. And so we end up with z minus 4 over 10 is equal to m. Okay, so very simple, very straightforward. Thank you.